up, swashbucklers? You're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 125. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show, as I am every week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling your friends and doing all that good stuff. You're helping me keep the ship afloat, and I appreciate it. Speaking of ships, not even a ship, really. Fun fact about the number 125. The 125 is a 12.5-foot, two-person intermediate sailing dinghy, complete with a main, a jib, spinnaker, and a trapeze, and it was designed in 1969 by an Australian boat designer, Simon Grieg. So there you go. There's a boat. There's a boat called the 125. That's our fun fact for today. My guest on the show today is the endearing, the lovely Scarlett Dearheart of Dearheart's Doodads. And we had a great talk. And Dearheart's Doodads, she makes like accessories and clothes for pirates, mostly women, starting on men. And that's part of the story today. But we're also going to talk about why she does it. We're going to talk about what drew her into not only the pirate community, but drew her into creating a business within the pirate community, and the great things that she is doing to aid and create a community around pirate vendors, pirate merchants, as she prefers to call them. And she's doing some really great things in sort of circling the wagons and helping festival merchants, pirate merchants, help each other. So she's doing great stuff there. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about her business. It's a really fun talk. She's a great lady, and we're gonna have fun with this one. I had an interesting weekend. Not an interesting weekend. There was a bummer thing. I was doing a show in Oakland on Saturday night. I stayed for both shows. I was in the first one, and I stayed at the second one to see some friends perform. And it was great. Both shows were sold out. Amazing. I had great sets. It was super fun. And then I went back out to my car and I noticed that the back seat was like tilted down. I have a Toyota Corolla, and it's one of those where you can kind of pull the back seat down to get, if you got something too big in the trunk or whatever it is, And I noticed one of the sides of the back seat was flopped down. I was like, it must have come loose or something, and I don't know how to. And then I was like, oh no. And I walked around the other side of the car, and somebody had smashed my passenger side window on the back seat. And I was like, oh, man. It doesn't happen very often. The last time it happened was in San Francisco, probably maybe 10 years ago. It had to be at least 10 years ago. And I was seeing Public Enemy in concert. I love Public Enemy. And I was seeing them at a place called Mezzanine in San Francisco. And that was 3 hours of Chuck D going, be a man, be responsible for yourself, get your act together, all this kind of stuff. And then I went out and my window was broken. And I was like, well, that guy was not at the show, apparently. And in that instance, all the guy stole was my merchandise cases. So he got a suitcase full of Roadside Attraction T-shirts and CDs, and I hope he was a fan. I kept expecting to see my T-shirts on homeless people in San Francisco. It never happened, so I don't know where they went. Probably in a dumpster, I imagine. But this time, so window broken, Oakland, Saturday night, just smashed, just smashed. And they didn't steal anything. They didn't steal anything at all because there was nothing to steal that they could get to quickly anyway. Like everything was still there. I checked. My registration was still there, all that kind of stuff. What they'd done is flop down the back seat. And I did have a PA speaker in my trunk because I carry enough gear to do a show whether I need it or not. And so there was a PA speaker in the trunk, but they would not have easily been able to get it out that way. Apparently they didn't think that to just open the door after they'd smashed the window. These guys are never accused of being all that bright to begin with. But had they opened the door, they probably could have stolen this very expensive speaker I had in the trunk. But they did not. So that was the only thing there. All they pretty much did was cost me $175 for a window that I'm getting tomorrow and make for a very, very cold drive home. It was, 50 degrees on the freeway for a good 40 miles or whatever it is from Oakland back to San Jose. So it was a freezing drive home, and I got to pay some money for a window. So that's a drag. And what I don't like about it is that I always stick up for Oakland. Whenever people talk smack about Oakland, I go, you know what? I go to Oakland all the time. The people there are great. I've been in the sketchiest parts of Oakland. I've never been bothered by anybody. And then Oakland does that. They leave me with a broken window. So I filed a police report that will mean nothing, and there you go. I'm pretty sure somebody threw a bottle at my car on the way out of town, too, because there was a giant thunk on the roof of my car, and I don't know what it was. There was no damage. There was nothing. So, exciting night in Oakland, California. But I still vouch for Oakland. I like Oakland. It's good audiences there. A lot of great comedy scene happening in Oakland, California right now. So anyway, once I get my new window, I will be back on the road doing more gigs. This Thursday, January the 18th, I will be headlining at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco, California for the hashtag Hella Funny comedy show. Super excited about that. That is my first time headlining at Cobb's, which is a great club and a great big club. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Sunday, January the 21st, I'll be at the All Out Comedy Theater in Oakland, California. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. It'll be fun. There's only 4 comics on the show. We're all doing longer sets. It's going to be a really fun show. So that's All Out Comedy Theater, Sunday, January the 21st. On Friday, February the 2nd, I'll be at the Poet and Patriot in Santa Cruz, California. Saturday, February 3rd, I'll be at Jokesters in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's at the D Casino in Las Vegas. And Sunday, February 4th, I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas, and that is at the Tropicana Casino. So doing some comedy weekend stuff in Vegas that weekend. It's going to be a good one. By the way, if you would like to learn how to play guitar, I don't know if you know this, I've been a guitar teacher for many, 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 many years now. And if you would like to learn guitar, I have a new program out on the web, and you get into it with the 30-day guitar challenge. And it's free to participate in this. It's really fun. What you will do is you will learn 3 songs, start to finish, in 30 days with no more than like 10 minutes a day of practice time. And this is I promise, if you've never touched a guitar before, you'll be able to play these 3 songs by the end of the month. And so I would like, if you've ever thought about playing guitar, this is a good way to get into it, to just wrap your fingers around the instrument and give it a go. So here's what you do. You're going to go to underthecrossbones.com/guitar. That's underthecrossbones.com/guitar. And you just register right there on the site, and you will be ready to go in the 30-day guitar challenge. It'll start you off right away. And that's how you can learn how to play guitar. And then I can help you more with it later on after your 30 days is, and you'll find out about all that kind of stuff later on. Ooh, yeah. Are you enjoying the show so far? We're going to get to our interview here in a second. We definitely are. If you are enjoying the show, come join us over on Facebook. Facebook.com/underthecrossbones. On Twitter, we're at undercrossbones, no the in that one. And of course, make sure that you're subscribed through Apple Podcast or Stitcher, Slacker, Spotify, Google Play, Podcast Addict, Overcast, wherever you're getting your podcast from. Just hit that little subscribe button. Make sure you get all the new episodes direct to your device every Tuesday morning. And actually, probably Tuesday midnight, because they come out in the middle of the night. So you'll get it, like, if you wanted to get up super early Tuesday morning, it would already be there for you. And you could listen to it while you were half asleep. And of course, all the show notes for this episode will be at underthecrossbones.com/125. So make sure to check that out. We'll have all the links and all that kind of good stuff over there. All right, let's get into the interview with Scarlett Dearheart from Dearhart's Doodads. We're talking pirate clothing, we're talking pirate accessories, but more importantly, we are talking pirate business and pirate community and that kind of stuff. So that's where you want to be listening for in this one. If you are an aspiring pirate merchant, there's going to be some great information in here for you. And even if you're not, if you're just a festival fan, it's interesting to see it from the other side of the cash register. So listen through. Scarlett is a wonderful lady, and this is a fun talk, and I hope you enjoy it. So here it is, Scarlett Dearheart from Dearhart's Doodads. Enjoy. You are the proprietor of Dearhart's Doodads, a fun name to say and slightly difficult.
Yeah, I really enjoy alliterations.
Nice. I like alliteration too, especially when I find them difficult to say. So for the people who aren't sure about what your business is, what Dearhart's Doodads is, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, Dearhart's Doodads is a pirate clothing and accessory company. I started it last year. I had been away from the pirate scene for a couple of years, and when I came back, I discovered that coming across garb that I could afford easily without completely breaking my bank was becoming more and more difficult. I'm pretty good at finding things out and about, like at Goodwill, and like altering it to fit my needs, but it gets tiresome. Sure. And I don't always get the look that I'm going for. So out of need, I started learning how to sew. I had somebody who was teaching me a few things here and there. A lot of it I've started picking up on my own here recently, but that's how this entire company was born, just out of a need for garb.
Okay. And the stuff that I see out there, especially at the festivals and things, is very expensive in some cases, which is great because it's absolutely...
Oh my gosh, kidding.
Yeah, it's worth the money because it's all handmade and looks fantastic and all that kind of stuff.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was at a festival a couple weeks back with some friends, and we came across this outfit, and as gorgeous as it was just way out of the reach of an average human being, of an average person who wants to go. I mean, you got to drop several $100s. It was like a $700 outfit.
Wow.
And I would love to be able to purchase it, but I just cannot do that. And I know a lot of my friends who are trying to get into it also cannot do that.
Right. Yeah. I am far more likely to spend that money on a guitar if it comes down to the choice.
Clothes, other clothes, cars.
Right. There you go.
I'm like, that's basically a down payment for my car.
Right. Yeah, totally. So you started the business with the skirt hikes. Explain to me, Mr. Man, Male, Sir, Her, here, what a skirt hike does and what it's for.
Well, I started the business partly with the skirt hikes and partly with my beaded baubles. The skirt hikes were one of the very first things I started sewing.
Okay.
I was sewing them by hand last year for my crew. Mm-hmm. We were going to the Cedar Key Pirate Invasion, and I was like, oh, we need skirt hikes. I was looking at all these people wearing their skirts all hiked up and stuff, and I was like, we need those. Those are leather. Those are real heavy. Let's try something a little lighter. So I started doing a little bit of experimenting with some different size rings and some different fabrics. And I started using ribbon, and then I started reinforcing my ribbon with extra fabric. But a skirt hike is something that generally is a loop with a ring on the end, 2 rings on the end, and it hangs on a woman's belt, and then the skirt goes into the 2 rings, like one of those belts from the 80s where you would put the end of the belt through the 2 rings and then back through the one, and it would hold tight and not move.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what we do with our skirts and these rings that hang off of our belts.
I see.
Skirt hikes, and it holds it up so we're not getting hot under there and tripping over it and all that stuff.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So what was you said the genesis was you weren't able to find this stuff, or at least at a reasonable price. What made you want to go into the business?
Skirt hikes are generally a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Skirt hikes are generally a reasonable price. They're smaller accessories that you can pick up from pretty much any leather good.
Sure.
Anybody who does leather is making skirt hikes. What inspired me to make skirt hikes is the leather gets very, very heavy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we have enough stuff hanging off of our belts with our pouches and then our skirts. My skirts are generally 8 yards of fabric, which is 24 feet, and depending on what kind of fabric I'm using, specifically satin or heavy cotton, that gets hot. That gets very, very heavy.
Sure.
And if I already have weight on my hikes and then I'm adding more weight from the skirt, that's a lot of weight pulling down on the front of my belt.
Yeah, definitely. I went last festival I went to in shorts and a t-shirt, and I was blazing hot. I was like, I don't know how everybody's wearing these giant dresses and things. It was
the last festival I went to, I'm in Florida, and it was the beginning of December. It was the first weekend of December, and I was still blazing hot.
Yeah.
I went out there running a booth in bloomers and a blouse. I was like, the hell with all of this skirt stuff. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Are you getting caught in any of that East Coast cold snap yet?
Oh my gosh, it has been so cold for the last 3 days. I'm like hunkered down. This is worse than a hurricane.
Crazy. We're barely getting a little bit of drizzle today in California, just for comparison.
Yeah, I'll take a hurricane over this freezing cold weather any day.
Funny. So tell me a little bit about how you got into the pirate scene. You said you were in it for a while, and then there was a break, and then you came back. So how'd you get into it originally?
Well, I was seeing this guy 2005.
Okay.
I think it was. I started dating this guy, and he was into the pirate thing, and we went to a festival, and I really liked it, and so I started doing some research because I wanted to be more involved, and then come to find out, my birthday happens to be on International Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Nice.
Huzzah! Yeah. So, very exciting stuff. So, after that, I was addicted, I was hooked, I wanted to do it all the time. We were living together, and we were decorating our house, our apartment, in all kinds of pirate decor. It was just really cool. After we broke up, I continued to do pirate stuff every year on my birthday and pirate decor in my house. And then fast forward, let's see, it's like, 12 years ago? What year is it now? Like That was 12 years ago. Fast forward 10 years, I started seeing another guy who was not into it. Year and a half, 2 years later, something like that. 2.5 years later, I dumped him. And then I was like, oh, it's my birthday in 19 days. I think I need to do something really piratey this year because I haven't done anything for like the last 3 years.
Okay.
Let's find something to do. We discovered Cedar Key Pirate Invasion. Happened to be my birthday weekend. And ever since then, I have just been completely dived into it.
Nice.
Just obsessed and, going full force in the pirate thing. And that was 2015.
Okay, nice. Yeah, my girlfriend still absolutely could care less about any of this stuff. But that's her. I also don't understand her handbag fetish. So we have our things and we do our things.
I don't understand the handbag fetish either.
Yeah. We are currently planning a trip to Paris, and she's like, there's going to be shopping, right? And I'm like, oh, all right, I guess.
Bring an extra suitcase just for all the handbags.
Oh yeah, that's definitely in the plans. She definitely does that. So so before you were professionally a pirate, you were just a fan of the pirate thing, and in becoming part of the community. What were you doing outside of that? What did life look like when you weren't pirating?
When I was not pirating, before I was like going on headstrong into the pirate thing, I was headstrong into the beauty industry.
Oh, okay.
I grew up with my mother, who is a hairstylist, and for the longest time, I never wanted to do that. And then one day I got a really bad haircut because I was out of town and she couldn't do it. And I decided that I was going to come back to Florida and go to school for hair.
Okay.
I've been doing that for 7 years. I have, my background is that. And after 7 years, I don't know if it's a 7-year itch or what, but I'm getting burnt out.
Okay.
And so ideally, I'd like to do the full-time pirate thing more and cut down the hair to at least part-time. Mm-hmm. And hopefully within the next 5 or 10 years be completely retired from the beauty industry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The 7-year itch thing really strikes true because I see it in other art forms and things as well. Certainly in the comedy community, there is a 7-year slump for every comedian that I've met. And I saw the generation of performers before me go through it. And so I knew it was coming. So when I hit that 7-year slump, I was like, all right, I know what this is. I'm just going to stick it out and keep going, and I managed to get through it. But I absolutely understand that. And I do know people who know how to do one thing and they hate doing that thing and they don't have anything else. So it's great to see somebody kind of break out and try new things too.
Well, when I was younger and growing up, doing hair was never what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. It's just something I think I just fell into and happened to be good at it. Uh-huh. I found a niche, and I just kind of got comfortable there. When I was younger, I wanted to do something more, hair is creative, but I wanted to do like creative writing. I was always interested in being an author and writing books. I actually have one book that I self-published under a different name. So okay. We won't talk about that one because we don't want people to know that name. That one's on the back burner somewhere.
That's okay, but you did put a book out, so that's a good thing.
I did put a book out. I actually have another book that I'm writing. It is a pirate-based novel, okay. And it's about the background story of Scarlett Dearheart. So when I get that book all finished, and hopefully somebody will want to publish it, eventually I will be cosplaying myself.
I like that. That is an interesting. That's an interesting idea. Who are you? Me? Yeah.
And it occurred to me after I started writing the book, I'm like, oh, this is going to get weird fast.
That is super meta. I like that idea a lot. I think I'm going to cosplay me from now on. It's. So 2015, you started Dearheart's Doodads. What was the process of getting that started? I mean, did you kind of start it just to kind of make things for yourself and your friends and it snowballed, or did you go in full force with a plan of some sort?
Well, originally when I decided I wanted to start this company, I wanted to start it to make accessories only. I wanted to do the beaded baubles, which are for men and for women. Uh-huh. I wanted to do the skirt hikes. Eventually, I wanted to add maybe some jewelry. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to add. I know I wanted to go to festivals and pull from my background in the hair industry, mm-hmm. do braids and put beads and just do the services there. I've seen that happen at Renaissance festivals, but I've never seen that at pirate festivals. I've never seen people just there braiding hair and helping people out like that. So that was something I wanted to do originally. And as I have gotten more and more involved in the pirate community and learning to make the things that I need for myself and my crew, like my skirts and my bloomers, and actually just learned how to make blouses. I'm very proud of myself for that. I did that one completely on my own. Nobody taught me.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, these things are getting expensive to make for myself. I just spent like $30 in fabric on my skirt alone. I'm going to have to start selling these to supplement my skirt habit because I'm addicted to skirts and bloomers now. So I decided I was going to start adding those to my the things that I would sell. And so it's just kind of been a snowball effect of adding more and more things just because I can make them. And they're expensive to make for myself, so I need to turn around to sell them to supplement my addiction.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, the beaded baubles, that's a hair thing, right?
That's a hair thing. Okay. And these are really cool. I know that everybody has seen the hair beads at the festivals and whatnot. These are completely unique to those. Most of the beads that you see at the festivals are strung on like wire or string. They're attached to a clip that has no teeth, or they're attached to an alligator clip. Both of those have the tendency to slip or snag and pull the hair. They are not always very comfortable. My beads are strung onto 100% human hair that I harvested from the guys I pillaged and plundered last night. Just kidding. I bought the hair from a reputable source. I string my beads onto this hair. Sometimes I braid the top of the hair if it's going to be something longer that might be tucked up under a hat. If you put a hat down on top of some beads, they're eventually going to give you a massive headache. I know. I learned the hard way. But these are designed for long-term wear.
Okay.
The longest I have worn my beads into my hair have been 3 months. Because they are on human hair. They can be washed and styled right along with your own hair. They're not recommended for too much heat because the top of them are held together with an adhesive which will melt if you put a flat iron or a blow dryer too close to them. But they are very comfortable.
Yeah, what's the attachment mechanism? How do you attach it?
It has what is called a microlink, and it's this tiny little metal ring. And when I make them and I send them to you, inside this metal ring is a plastic loop. And you put your hair into the plastic loop. You pull the plastic loop through the microlink, and you squeeze the microlink down with a pair of pliers.
Okay.
And they stay in for months.
Interesting.
I did discover that there are some people who have commitment issues. And they don't want to be committed to one hair accessory for several months at a time. Therefore, at the last festival I attended, I started stringing them onto wig clips. And wig clips are a little different than the regular clips you might see. They snap back and forth and hold attached to your hair, but they have little combs on them, so they don't slip and they don't pull and they don't snag. So if somebody wants to order one of my beaded baubles, but they are a little nervous about the commitment, they can just say, hey, Scarlett, can you string it onto a wig clip? And I'll string it onto a wig clip at no extra charge.
Interesting. I might have to look at one of those because I've been considering something like that for my own head for during shows. See, I would be not necessarily commitment phobic, but it's not something I need to wear when I'm sitting around the house. But I have been looking for something additional to throw in my head while I'm on stage. So that might be something I might
I enjoy wearing them all the time because people are like, they'll come up to me. I kid you not, I had one old guy come up to me. I was out at a restaurant and he stops me and I had all my beads in my hair. I think I had like 5 or 6 sets of beads. He looks at me, he goes, you ain't no pirate. I was like, I was so taken aback. I was like, what is it? My skirt? My beads? I don't understand.
He was just very accusing, it sounds like.
It was really, really funny, but I like having the beads because it makes me identifiable as a pirate more than just out at a festival.
Yeah, certainly. It definitely does. So now you're getting into the skirts and the bloomers and things like that. Are you also doing some guy stuff?
I have actually decided that I'm going to add gentleman apparel to my repertoire. I have a couple guys in my crew They need pants, and therefore I now make trousers.
There you go.
They have elastic at the bottom. They have elastic at the top. They're quick and easy to make. They're quick and easy to wear. They're very, very comfortable. And the guys in my crew, they really like them. Eventually, I'd like to add different types of pants for the guys. But right now, we're just doing the trousers. I just ordered patterns for men's vests, waistcoats type things. I have one gentleman, actually, Jesse, from the Pirates Code Beard Oil, has been harassing me for months. Hey, when are you going to make vests? I'm working on it, Jesse. I'm working on it. Give me a break. So I finally ordered the patterns. So as soon as they're here, I will be making vests. I make sashes there for the guys. Women can wear sashes, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. It just depends on the look that they're going for. But ideally, what I would like to do is I'd like to offer full outfits that you can buy off the rack for men and for women. For the men, it would be the trousers, the sash, shirt, and a waistcoat. Okay. For the women, it would be a skirt, bloomers, skirt hikes, what I call a corset liner, which is real fun, and a corset, which I order from a second party, or a third party, rather.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I can't make those yet.
Yeah, you don't want to get into that. Seems like a difficult project to sew.
It's a difficult project, but I think I would eventually like to do it. I have a really cool bodice pattern that I'm going to try here eventually.
All right. Now, before you were doing the pirate thing, and even before the hair stuff, were you a clothing interested / conscious person? Did clothes appeal to you, or did that come with the pirate thing?
When I was younger, I actually was cleaning out some stuff a couple weeks ago, preparing for Christmas and whatnot, and I came across an old sketch pad that I had, wherein I was drawing different outfits. I was designing clothes. I had completely forgotten about it. But yeah, I always enjoyed that kind of creative feature in the clothing design. It just never occurred to me back then that eventually I would be designing outfits for pirates.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that would occur to anybody that early in life.
I think this notebook was from when I was like, I don't know, 15.
Okay, yeah,
maybe 19. I was very young.
Yeah, but it was latently there. That's interesting. So now you've also done a fair bit of getting yourself into the pirate community as almost an advocate for people selling stuff at pirate festivals with the Tortuga Traders Consortium and stuff. Tell me a little bit about that angle.
Yes, the Tortuga Traders Consortium is a group that is specifically for, I like to call us merchants. We sell things online and at pirate festivals. Vendors is such a newfangled term. I prefer the older term of merchants.
Okay.
But it arose of a need when somebody that I was working with had trouble with one of her customers who ended up attempting to rip her off through the United States Postal Service and through PayPal and through the bank. And this woman ended up getting her refund, even though she shouldn't have gotten the refund. She acquired all of the things that she had ordered, and she just ripped this person off for the money. She has been seen wearing the apparel. So in order to protect other pirate merchants, we started this group where we could come in, warn each other and our friends that, hey, this person isn't to be trusted. If you're going to sell to them, make sure you're doing cash purchases. Cash only, no shipping, nothing like that. There's also a place in there, we talk about advice for new vendors, people who are trying to get into vending, people who are trying to get into being a merchant. You can work with people if you have, hey, I have this outfit, it needs a hat. Would you like to sell a hat along with this outfit? Just a way to partner up and help each other out as vendors in the community.
It's always great to have a support network like that. It's always very, very helpful. What have you learned from that network that's helped your own business?
Well, I have learned that PayPal might not always be for the seller. Yeah. Sometimes they are strictly for the buyer. If you're going to invoice and sell out like that, sometimes Square is better. I was asking today for some new vendors, hey, what do we need? What's some good advice for people who want to start going to festivals and vending? And the answers so far have been disappointing to me. Oh, make sure you are prepared for any weather. Yeah, I got that. Make sure you have plenty of change. Okay, got that too.
Yeah.
Make sure you're using square. Okay, yeah. Anything else? Can we go a little deeper here, guys? A little deeper. So I'm still waiting on some good, some different types of advice from that. We had a guy who was trying to ship internationally, and he asked for advice for international shipping. He had just things like that, just things to help each other out.
Yeah, and there are those zillion little details that have to be done with that, because I've done vending at music festivals with my releases and T-shirts and things like that, non-piratey kind of stuff. But you get there and you're just like, oh, there's like 15 things I didn't think to bring with me to this.
Yeah, I did vending for the first time last month, and I didn't think to bring change. I was like, well, crap.
Yeah. See, what I do is I will often say, oh, I don't have change. Would you like to just buy this extra thing for $5? And that works very well for upsells.
See, I never thought of that.
I know. I'm pretty sure most of my comedy fans aren't listening, so they won't hear me say that. But that's the way I sell some extra stuff. Is I often don't have change. But so, how was your first experience vending? Was it at Cedar Key? You said
it was at Cedar Key. Cedar Key was my very first vending experience. I was blessed to be able to vend in a tent with a few other people. Jesse was one of them from the Pirates Code Beard Oil, and we met for the first time that weekend in person, and he's a lot of fun. I like to pick on him. He's like the brother I always knew I never wanted. But I had a great time. I got really excited. The festival opened on Friday. I had a mannequin out there with a beautiful purple outfit. Like the whole thing, the corset liner, the corset, the skirt, the bloomers, and the skirt hikes. 10 minutes after the festival opened, a gentleman and his wife walked up. He goes, oh, this is nice, honey. She goes, yeah, I like it. Will it fit? I said, oh, yeah, this will fit you. They go, we'll take it. And they bought it right off my mannequin.
Nice.
It was the first sale of the day. I was like thrilled. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I sold the purple thing. And she's like, great, honey. Good for you.
Yeah, that is a I mean, to start like that, you just go, hey, this is a thing. This could actually work. So that's always very motivating when you have something like that. Did the rest of the I won't say did the rest of the weekend go as well, but I'm sure you did well for the rest of the weekend too. I
did pretty good for the rest of the weekend, considering it was my first time out and considering I was occupying just a small corner of the booth. I have no complaints over how the weekend went. I only wish that I would have had more of those outfits like what I had sold. That was my biggest sale of the whole weekend, and I had nothing else like it for the rest of the weekend because I didn't have any more things of like that in stock.
Yeah, and who would know you'd sell it in the first 10 minutes? So, you might not,
I know. I was shocked and surprised. And you know what? They went next door and bought another outfit from another vendor, and if I would have had 2 outfits, I probably would have sold them 2.
Oh my gosh, yeah, wealthy pirate fans. That's what everybody needs.
I think it was their first pirate outing, and they were trying to garb up while they were there.
That makes sense. Sharing a booth like that seems like a really great idea because the booths can be very, very expensive. Is that something that you're seeing other vendors and merchants do?
Unfortunately, a lot of the festivals that I have heard do not allow that sort of thing. They prefer to have only one company in a booth. If they know you well, they might permit you to have 2 people, but most of them, they only want 1 merchant per booth.
That's a shame. Because it can be very pricey. I'm hoping that
eventually I can do... Yeah, it can be very expensive. I'm hoping eventually that I can do something with the Tortuga Traders Consortium where we're not just an online group supporting one another, but we can actually have a booth where I can collect things from different merchants and put them all in the booth, and then they can be paid out later on through that. That way they can kind of have their stuff represented there without actually having to be there.
Sure, yeah, certainly. And I would even imagine you could possibly go to some of these festivals and go, look, we've got 20 people that want a booth, and if you'll give us a deal, we'll bring you 20 booths, So you could even sort of finagle a deal like that, too, if you've got the backing of a crew behind you.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but that's an idea, too. I'm like I said, I'm new to the vendor community, so I'm still working to see how everything works and how everything comes together.
Sure, but what's good is that you're jumping in and you're being active in it and trying to help other people, and that's always the way that there's no way you can lose doing that. You can't move backwards if you're doing that kind of thing.
Right. I enjoy helping the new people coming into the pirate community and into trying to start a business. I enjoy doing that, and ideally I'd like to expand the consortium so that people look at us and go, oh, this is a reputable merchant because they're associated with the Tortuga Traders Consortium. Let's buy from them.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm in the Tortugas Trader Consortium. Here's my little sign. This is my badge of honor.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a really great idea.
Kind of like, when you go to a good website, they've got the McAfee badge. You can trust this website because they're with McAfee.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea. So the Tortugas Trader Consortium is on Facebook if you just search Tortuga Traders Consortium.
Yes, and you will, if you find the Tortuga Traders Consortium and you request to be a member, you will be asked 3 questions. You must be a merchant to join the group. We do not accept entertainers, no offense. We only accept people who actually sell tangible goods.
Okay.
You will be asked the 3 questions. If you don't answer the 3 questions within 24 hours, your membership will be denied. If you answer them incompletely, your membership will be denied.
Aha, there you go. That totally makes sense if you're trying to just keep it there.
The same goes with another group that I am an admin of. I admin the Worldwide Pirates community on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
3 questions. Please answer them completely. I'm going to deny you if you just say yes to 1 question and don't answer the other 2.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And that is a great group. I hang out there myself sometimes. Yeah, that's a fun one.
I know. I've seen you there.
So, and then Dearheart's Doodads is also on Facebook as well. Do you have a regular website for that, or is it just Facebook for now?
I do not have a regular website for that. It is just Facebook for right now. I have been working on getting it outsourced to a different stuff. And hopefully I'll have some new news with that very shortly.
Great. Fantastic. Is there, did I miss anything? Is there anything I didn't ask that you want folks to know about?
Yes. I also run a group called A Pirate's Like for Me. L-I-K-E,
what's that?
not A Pirate's Life for Me. A Pirate's Like for Me is a photo contest group. We occasionally have sponsors who sponsor monthly contests, and at the end of a monthly contest, you could win a prize.
Oh, neat. What kind of prizes are up for grabs at those?
Well, let's see. Jesse has given away, I think it was a $15 gift certificate. The Sewing Wench has given away a $50 gift certificate. Dearheart's Doodads gave away a prize. And actually, I'm getting ready to start a new round of contest wherein I will be giving away another prize. I think I'm going to give away a sash or something if I have one lying around.
Nice. Oh, that sounds fun. So that is a Pirates Like for Me on Facebook there. So I'm going to make sure that all that is linked up in the show notes and all that kind of stuff, so everybody can check out all the cool stuff you're doing and buy some baubles and skirt hikes and clothes and all that kind of good stuff.
Perfect.
Well, Scarlett, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
It has been a pleasure. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, you bet. I hope we can talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks.
And there it is. That is my talk with Scarlett Dearheart of Dearheart's Doodads. And of course, you can find her over on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Dearheart'sDoodads. If you are a aspiring pirate merchant or a current pirate merchant and you want to find out about the Tortuga Traders Consortium, go to facebook.com/groups/Tortuga Traders Consortium. And if you want to get involved with a Pirates Like for Me, that's the contesty thing she was talking about, go to facebook.com/groups/a Pirates Like for Me. That's like with a K and not an F. It's a good name. I like it. And of course, all those will be linked up in the show notes at underthecrossbones.com/125. We are, of course, sponsored today by Pirate Radio of the Treasure Coast, WKKC-DB, playing the best music in pirate radio talk. You can listen to Under the Crossbones on both their stations. Just go to pirateradioofthetreasurecoast.com or pirateradiotc.com. And don't forget to download their apps. That's the Pirate Radio Treasure Coast app for the music station and Pirate Radio Talk for the talk station. And again, don't forget to join us online. Say hi. Let me know how you like the episodes. On Facebook, we're at Under the Crossbones. On Twitter, we're at Under Crossbones. And do all the subscribing stuff and all that kind of good thing. All right? That is our show for today. Thank you once again for tuning in. I always appreciate your patronage and your ears and your mouth when you tell your friends and that kind of good stuff. If you want to hear more about Dearheart's Doodads and Scarlett Dearheart and all that she's doing, go over to facebook.com/Dearheart's Doodads. And for Tortuga Traders Consortium, it's kind of hard to say. And A Pirate's Life for Me, just pop over to Facebook and put those names in the search box, and they will come up. All the links for these will be at the show notes, underthecrossbones.com/125. Got some great guests coming up for you over the next couple of weeks. We're going to hear from Ted Shred from Pirates for Hire. We're going to hear from Arnon Shore from the Pirate Captain Toledano. We're going to hear from Jenai Merrick, who is the author of The Dangerous Voyage of Gup the Sailor. Great stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you next week.